All right, so we've got Season 8, Episode 14. Still Gotta Mean Something. Done. Something. We've only got 2 episodes left. They keep doing
Rick?
This to me.
Say it like Rick. Say the episode's title.
Still Gotta Mean Something.
It sounds better like that.
I don't know if that's Rick or Daryl.
Either way.
Or like their love child. I don't know, but... Yeah, but so here we go. I'm going to go on and say it. Okay, of course, my recap page wants to... Now I'm on the good doctor. Anyways, as I fight to get my tablet back to where I want to be, I thought this was another good episode. I've been very, very happy with the last 3. Like, if we were this way the entire last season or 2, we wouldn't be having these conversations about the show going downhill.
Yeah, riding some good momentum, that's for sure.
And I'm going to say real quick, because of Matt's whole, not being happy with the last episode or 2, and then somebody said something about JP and I with rose-colored glasses, and while we do genuinely tend to like the show more than Matt, if you go back, you can find several old episodes where we, either JP or myself just was not happy with the episode and just like rips it up. Like JP really enjoyed the Oceanside episode.
I loved it.
I thought it was terrible. It was almost as bad as Beth and Daryl episodes.
Like the whole Gabriel's Jesus Take the Wheel episode, man. I rated that lower than anybody. I hated that garbage.
Yeah, so we don't always love it. Matt's just consistently, genuinely not happy with it.
I liked last week's.
Did you like last?
Okay.
What did you think of this week's?
A little bit lower rating than we'll get to that. We'll get to that. It was okay.
This is the one time where they kind of, because we've always said The Walking Dead's got a bad habit of running their characters around in circles, just not really knowing what they want to do with them. And a lot of times I agree, but this time I actually understand why they did what they did with Rick, of the making them be this way. And like Rick told Carl, well, I'll do it. I'll make it happen. And then he's killed pretty much everyone who's not been one of his countrymen. Since
countrymen,
and then, but I get what they're doing. Like basically, it's kind of like the stages of grief. Loss. He's or grief. He's right now he's angry. And I guess after, because I did not see them turning on those saviors. Like I really didn't see that happening. And then Rick, I think it took him getting that savage and that Negan-ish, which I don't even know if Negan is quite at that point yet. Negan's pretty good about sticking to his word. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But I think after that, Rick's taken a look in the mirror and he finally read the letter, which, if you look it up and you read the letter, it's pretty damn heartbreaking.
Huh.
Someone transcribed the whole letter.
What? A letter from a dead son to a father?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be like, start off with a joke. Knock, knock, Dad. Who's there? Not me.
Oh, jeez.
But, so Matt, what were your issues with the episode?
It's the same as always.
Same as always?
Same as always, man. It's just there's certain tropes that we expect to happen, and they do happen. Like we were just talking a few minutes ago before we started about Tara and Daryl.
Yeah.
And how they flip-flop each other. Yeah. And also how you made a good point about how they just need to... I don't think you said it, but I think they need to kill Daryl, or at least do something.
I think they're scared to kill Daryl. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like... I just feel like he's kind of the character that's sitting there now, and they're like, all right, so here we go. We've got this episode for Rick and for Michonne and Maggie, and what are we going to do with Daryl? I feel like that's the discussions they have in the writers' rooms. Mm-hmm. They're like, okay, so what are we going to do with Daryl this episode? Mm-hmm. And I mean, it sounds like if you listen to our podcast a lot, it sounds like I absolutely hate Daryl. I don't. Back up through like season 4, maybe even 5, I love Daryl, but it's just gotten the last few seasons, I feel like he's just there. You know what I mean? Like, because he's got such a big fan following, they don't want to kill him off, but they don't really know what to do with him.
You do have that Daryl dartboard, though, and that Daryl trash can, and that Daryl toilet paper.
Surprisingly, I have a little sticker of Daryl in the back window of my car. So when someone's like, oh, you just hate Daryl. No, I actually really used to like Daryl.
Look at my sticker.
Would I have that? Which I've actually spent the last few days trying to actually scrape it off. Those suckers are on there.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you got to get a razor and some of that dissolve it.
You have to get like a heat gun or something.
Oh wow! Mister, I got a heat gun lying around.
Mm-hmm. I got a death ray.
You got a blow dryer somewhere.
But so we've got Rick not handling grief so well, refusing to read the letter, and I can relate to that because I'm one of those people, man. I probably would be the same way when someone it's not healthy. But when someone passes away, I think my way of dealing with it is just to not really acknowledge it. I mean, it's just people handle grief different ways. So I can kind of relate to that and the fact that he's just kind of holding off on reading the letter, which I think is going to play an important role with how it's going forward from this episode.
Do you remember anything of what you read that it said?
Yeah, it talked about. I'm paraphrasing, but it was basically like Carl was telling him. I remember when I was 3, and you would walk me to the so and so farm.
Carl, you don't remember anything from 3 years old.
He says in the letter, he goes, "I don't know how I remember these things, but I do." It's really sweet. Matt's laughing. I thought it was really sweet. I thought it was really sweet. But if you actually find it, read it. It's actually a pretty good letter. But he basically, see, we're talking about going around in circles. That's my thing with Carl. I don't mind Carl being the guy that wanted peace, but that didn't start until like an episode or 2 before he died. Right. You know what I mean? If they had been building up to that, maybe after the prison, it kind of changed his view, and but basically it's just like, well, the plot needs to have a reason why Rick doesn't kill Negan. So let's use that with Carl. And like Matt and I discussed, as much as I do love this show, I do think that Carl dying was strictly for shock value.
We have discussed that.
I think that they could, that's one of those things. Now, see, I'm not going to like back the show up on that. I think they killed Carl strict because you could have done this same thing with like Morgan or another character, being all about peace and then dying and Rick wanting to honor them. And they just were like, hey, what would be shocking? Let's kill Carl.
What's annoying me a lot is the PR with the show about how, and it's all in good fun. Carl's still alive, this and this. No, seriously though, he's dead. And if the show, first of all, they don't stop the talk about Carl maybe alive. Carl, look, I was reading some articles, was it Gizmodo or something, that said that there's talks that people are saying that Carl snuck into Negan's car.
Well, saying that's who Negan picked up when he was like, you look like shit. Yeah.
Like the show, the show just needs to let it be, and then everyone else can let it be. But the responsibility falls on the show.
I think it's so funny because obviously you're right. Carl is dead. He's dead. He's gone. He's dead. And don't you think Negan would have had a bit more of a shocked reaction to seeing Carl walking down the, you know what I mean?
Pants City. Mm-hmm.
I mean, he would have been like, holy hell, Yep. I think it was Lauren. I think the girl with the barcode tattoo. Forgive me for not knowing her name right off the top of my head. We've only seen her a handful of times. I think it's Lauren.
Barcode's a good
barcode tattoo. Is
right.
I know,
I've seen a lot of people refer to her as
good.
Barcode. Mm-hmm. I bet that's who it was. And she's going to tell Negan about Dwight betraying them. So we haven't seen her since Dwight killed all the other saviors and then they got split up.
Yeah. But anyway, it was cute at first, but now it's annoying.
Right.
Like the whole Carl still alive thing.
When there was a possibility he would survive, it was understandable. Now it's just plain silly.
And it's more annoying for the show to allow that to go on. Like the producers stuff to like, well, we're not going to say anything because you never know. But it's just do some storytelling.
I said silly. When do I say silly?
You said it was something that was silly last week.
Am I getting old? Am I getting that to that age where everything is silly? Well, am I getting there?
How would you describe like if you went to the circus and you saw a walrus balancing on a ball, juggling? That's silly, right?
We don't have time for this, Matt. Quit being silly.
See it? There it is. There it is.
But yeah, so I think that was definitely Barcode that he picked up. I can't think of anybody else it would be. And how do you think it? Because I'll have to go back and watch the scene. Like you said before we started, we watched it 2 days ago. We actually had off yesterday for Easter Monday, so none of us were in the area to podcast. So it's been 2 days. But I thought in the scenes from next week's episode, it still looked like Dwight was sitting at the table as they were like coming up with their grand final plan. But then again, Negan likes to play games with people, so he might know that Dwight's betrayed him.
He does like to play games.
So, JP, what do you think of the Jadis helicopter ordeal?
I did enjoy Jadis and Negan. I enjoyed their interaction.
You saw the human side of Negan, too. Mm-hmm. Like, I really do hope we get to see, because everybody's been wanting a Negan backstory episode. I hope that they don't just let him explain that Lucille was his wife and then that's it. Like, I want to see it. You know what I mean? Like, we want to see even if it's flashbacks. It don't have to be a whole episode. Just
they better be in black and white.
Matt does not like the black and white flashbacks, but so Jadis and Negan was actually, and that was probably like the slowest part of the episode, but it was entertaining. It was actually some decent writing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really good stuff. I think I would have been a little bit more focused if I were him. Like, hey, what was the deal with the helicopter coming in? Like,
right.
Probably would have had a longer conversation about that. That was really my only qualm with the episode. If I was Negan, I'd have been like,
you want to know?
Yeah, something's going on.
I do like Jeffrey Dean Morgan as an actor, though, because like he does kind of like Andrew Lincoln, and Matt's given credit to a couple of the other people on the show that are really good at facial acting. Like Michonne, Denai Guerrero is the same way, like very good at showing emotion. Morgan is another one that's really good at Lenny James does great at like showing emotion through his facial expressions without even having to say anything. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan is actually really good at that too. Like if you watch him when he sees the helicopter, just that and he says it, but just that what the shit, and then to see him kind of shed a tear.
Your Rick impression's better, but Negan's getting there.
I'm working. I've been standing in the mirror. It's freaking my girlfriend out.
I bet.
But I've been practicing.
Mirrors.
I've been practicing. Got the baseball bat over my shoulder.
Okay.
When my dog walks up, I'm like, I simply can't
She just
decide.
walks by the bathroom. She's like, just put some clothes on, please.
Right. But yeah, I think that I don't know. I like seeing a more human side. He let her live. I mean, he sticks to his word. I mean, it's kind of, a lot of people like who's really the good guy and bad guy between Rick and Negan. I mean, this episode, Rick was a douche.
Yeah.
He gave his word and then he broke it immediately, whereas Negan.
That was a big shock.
That girl
like you said
live.
earlier, that was a very big shock. They just unloaded on him.
It's like JP said before we podcast. Like, I think you thought it was going to happen in the back of your mind, but you didn't actually believe it.
Yeah, I was like, man, this would be the perfect moment to murder all these guys. He's not going to do it, obviously, but he definitely did it.
He did it.
Yeah.
I hated him when he did it. I really did. But then I was like, well, you know what, though? After the whole reading Carl's letter, I get it. Like, that's what's going to make him take a look at himself and realize, okay, I'm not at all doing what I told Carl I would do.
That's actually in the letter somewhere. It's like at the bottom paragraph. It's like if you're in a room full of saviors and you have to shoot them, Dad, I understand. You got to go ahead and shoot them.
But no, it's like at the bottom. It's like, please don't kill them. Crap.
Got to read the entire letter first.
Some
like
people
crap.
F the pain away. Others, murder it
They
away.
do. Some people do F the pain away.
Yeah.
Just like the song.
But I was very, very happy with Jared's death.
Yeah.
Like we had said for the longest time, we wanted his death to be very satisfying, and man, that was awesome. I thought it was just super cool how Morgan just held him against the
look at a man in the eyes. And Morgan's got 2 episodes left. Mm-hmm. 2 episodes left of Lenny James.
I know.
We got. Like somebody said in the comments, we got Fear the Walking Dead is here for your Walking Dead qualms.
Well, and we
or
reviewed
like
season 2, the first half, and we just could not stand it. Like, it was just a struggle to watch. But everyone I've talked to is like, oh no, basically like the second half of season 2 is where the show really picks up and gets good. And I'm like, of course it would be. Mm-hmm. We would just have to suffer through the very boring parts and just think, oh, can't do it no more. But
I liked Fear the Walking Dead. I don't know why I fell off. Victor Strand was a strong man.
I did enjoy Victor Strand.
Yeah,
like I enjoyed his character. But I just
I think that
not digging the show.
The episode where it came back, where it's just Daniel wandering through the desert and there's dogs, and I think that was it was difficult for me to get through that episode, and then I just never really revisited.
Talking about Nick? You're talking about
Nick? Was it Nick?
Yeah. I'd say Daniel was the guy that we thought was dead for a while.
Right.
With him. I was like, yeah, man, Daniel. Mm-hmm, that's right. Alberto and Karen and Sue and Enrique.
JP and just all these crazy characters in that show.
Did you say my name? No. It's a character on the show.
Yeah, the Johnny Depp looking.
They're in Texas on the show now, right? On Fear the Walking Dead. Right?
I think they were in Mexico at one point, and I think they've worked their way back to Texas. I'm not 100%.
I don't know the U.S. geography, but I think those places are close.
Isn't it near Virginia?
It's got to be. It's either Virginia and then Texas, and that's the only thing separating California and Virginia. Ain't no New Mexico, Arizona, Alabama.
Ain't no such thing as deserts. That's
Arkansas.
a government conspiracy to keep us in our cities.
That's right.
Do you think that helicopter is going to play a role in getting Morgan to the helicopter that Jadis was trying to get?
That would make sense. Probably not. He'll just walk.
Yeah, because in The Walking Dead, it ain't as bad as Game of Thrones where they teleport continents away.
Morgan, get in the helicopter. No, thanks. I will just walk.
I don't fly.
It'll be faster. I know he's always like intense and angry. It'll be faster.
Well, he's always going, I don't die. So when they're like, Morgan, climb on, I don't fly.
That's good.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I think that's going to have something to do with him getting there. 'Cause that's a long ass walk. From Georgia to Virginia is a little bit more believable. I mean, it's still a long ass walk, but
no wonder it took him like 3-4 seasons.
Right? Yeah, so he was walking a while, but
he's walking a while.
He's walking here. But so, what do you think? What do you think's up with Jadis? What are any predictions as to what's going on with her?
I just want to say real quick, I love her name. Her real name is Pollyanna McIntosh, and I'm pretty sure that's the American equivalent of Benedict Cumberbatch. Mm-hmm. So we've got like our own. It's Pollyanna McIntosh. Mm-hmm. I just enjoy your name.
She's on a movie on Netflix that I've got on my list. I haven't watched it yet, but it's like I guess her and her boyfriend they get this land or something, or they move into this house, and these
it's good to have.
Of course, people come out and want to kill them. So it'd be interesting to see her as someone not Jadis.
It goes hand in hand. You get land, people are going to want to kill you for it.
She's apparently had some sexy roles. Headspace, I think, was the name of the movie she was in back in like 2005 maybe, and it was pretty raunchy. But so what do you think? What's the predictions here? What do you think she's part of the Commonwealth? Do you think that, I don't think she's part of the Whisperers.
No, I think they have ties to the Commonwealth, definitely.
Think so?
Do you think we're going to skip the whole? And I said a couple weeks ago, I made just a offhand comment about Georgie becoming alpha. I was just kidding. I was just kidding.
I guess we knew you were joking. Like I knew, it's just the tone of your voice.
But you know what? I kind of want to stand by it now.
Just because if it happens, off chance it happens, you're like,
I would be like, called it, and I will never drop it ever.
I saw one commenter who actually was like behind it. They were like, it'd be so awesome to see that kind of transformation from this, utopian leader to just, total savage.
Unless they're just like, patronizing me.
No. It was.
You think it was serious?
It was legitimate.
Was it you?
No, stop
you
it.
In a mock?
No, JP would never start an account and comment.
I create at least 20 or 30 accounts a week on YouTube, and
you were
a lot of those
trolls.
A lot of those comments are me. Yeah,
I knew it. You were your own worst enemy.
You caught me. You caught me.
But yeah, so I don't know. I'm really anxious to see where the Jadis. Jadis is like I think I said in an episode back. At first, I couldn't have cared less about Jadis, but now I'm very interested in her character. I hope they continue to do something with it.
Well, in order for it to be a really riveting character on the show, they have to be in some sort of position of power, and then they have to lose everything in order to become humanized in our eyes, and then we can follow their story.
That's true.
True.
It happens a lot.
So, all right. So we've got 2 more episodes. It's hard to believe. I've got to wait. But I am glad that now that Morgan is going to be on Fear the Walking Dead, I'm very excited to watch it. I really want to. I don't have Amazon Prime. I need to figure out a way to catch up on it.
Well, you can't even watch it for free on Amazon Prime. Last time I looked, you had to actually rent it or buy it or whatever.
Just go on AMC, the app, and just put in your DirecTV or Comcast or whatever cable provider.
Treating this Fear the Walking Dead like gold, man.
You know what? I've got on demand. Like I can watch the new episodes of The Walking Dead like on demand. I could probably do the same thing with Fear the Walking Dead.
Dude, I literally watch everything on the AMC app, man. Thank you.
I am on my
lift I needed today.
I'm on like my 4th run through of The Office. I'm almost into season 7. So as soon as I finish that, which you know how fast you can watch that.
Go through 8 and 9. You got to get them.
Oh no, I'm saying you know how like I was sitting there watching and I'm like, okay. Pam and Jim are getting married, and I'm
spoilers.
Just the other day, if you haven't watched The Office by now or gotten into that, but just the other day was when they just got together, and I'm like, I'm thinking, wow, that moved fast, but no, I just binged like a whole season.
Saturday was a really weird morning because I have some episodes saved on Netflix, like on my phone, downloaded, and then I also have like the series on the box set and DVD, and then it was also on Comedy Central. So over the weekend, I was all over the place. Like on my phone, I was watching season 6. On TV, I was watching like season 2. On the DVD box set, I was watching like season 8. It was really weird. It
was an Office weekend.
It was awesome.
Mine too.
It was awesome.
But no, so I really, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to sit down and watch Fear and get caught up because I'm really excited to see Morgan on that show. I wonder if they're going to eventually cross the whole thing over at some point. Maybe not permanently because marketing-wise, it's smarter to have 2 shows. You get more ad dollars. But, they're bound to do like a Flash Arrow type thing at least once before both shows end where they kind of cross paths at some point. Morgan's like, I got a new group.
Yep.
Rick. Yeah. It's just like, peace. And then they're out.
I read somewhere there's a 3rd spinoff I guess a 2nd spinoff in production.
Huh.
There's going to be another companion series. That's something I've read.
Please let it be like Canadian survivors, like up north and stuff.
Space survivors.
They're eating their brains with booty.
I would like to see something with like an actual like military science group, like the doctor from the
Jenner.
Jenner. Like the first thing you see is him communicating from somebody somewhere, maybe Australia, and it's just scientists actually trying to figure out what's up, and they've got like military people with them, and
make it like a buddy comedy, maybe keep it drama and horror.
2 cops who can't accept the world's ended, so they try to be police officers.
Who can't accept the world.
Plot twist: we end the show with Negan killing them.
Okay.
Because they try to arrest Negan.
And that's it. We give it all away up front.
Right.
Like the very first scene of the first episode is the last scene of the last episode.
Yep.
And then we build up to that point.
Genius.
Boom.
Chips with zombies.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I'm really excited to see where Jadis is going. I'm gonna tell you what though, the actor that plays Jarrett, and this might just be me in the way that Matt can't stand Chris Hardwick.
Go on.
watching him on The Talking Dead, because I cheated again. I had Monday off, so I was like, screw this. I'm staying up late, and I watched The Walking Dead. Then I watched.
Good to be an adult. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I watched The Talking Dead. Then I watched The Walking Dead again, and then I watched about 2 hours of The Office. But that guy's annoying. He was annoying the hell out of myself and my girlfriend listening to him talk, because he's one of those people that takes forever to tell a story. Just to tell you, but so if you get a chance, watch that, and you might disagree with me.
Like 10 minutes
like a nice
into the
guy.
story, they're like, long story short, and it's like, it's too late for that, brother.
That part right there, the long story short, that's what you could have just told me. But seems like a super nice guy. They were saying that that's the way it works. People that play douchebags in shows end up being super nice people in real life. But so the Jadis thing, I'm really excited to see where that's going to go. Pretty cool to see Negan yet again, a sensitive side. We saw him react to Carl's death, which I was very happy with.
Big softy.
We saw him kind of shed a tear there, talking about Lucille and relating to Jadis. But so moving forward, how do you think that the whole confrontation with Dwight and Simon's going to go? Do you think he's going to play games? How do you see this happening?
Simon's going to die.
No doubt.
That's all I got.
Maybe Simon will become alpha.
Oh, okay. All righty.
Have Trevor from Grand. I mean, he basically would be Trevor just running around wearing next to nothing.
Which is pretty much Trevor in Grand Theft Auto. So
just get him a little drugged up. And
those are some of the best times when you start the game up and you play as Trevor and you're drunk and in your underwear.
Yeah, and that was where he wakes up or where he is when you pick him.
Right, that's when I realized video games we've reached the pinnacle of video games. There's no way we can top this.
I got to him one time and he's with his cousin and he's laying in bed and his cousin's wearing black. Well, not his cousin, but I can't remember whose cousin
Probably
it was. It's
cousin,
a dude, but the dude's laying in the bed, curled up in the fetal position, crying with pajama pants, and Trevor just gets up in his underwear. But
it's the implication.
So with Morgan, man, he's really got an internal struggle going on here, right?
What else is new?
Do you think this episode was kind of redemption for Carol? Because remember, Sophia was lost. She was powerless. She didn't find her. She ended up dying. And now we have Carol searching for another kid. And this time she does find him. And not only does she find him, but she finds him in the very same situation that Rick left her in, under some roots pretty much in a creek. Did I say her as a him? Henry, but...
Nowadays you can't put labels.
Right, let's not assume. Henry might
pronouns.
But do you think, JP, maybe that was kind of Carol felt a sense of redemption inside?
Everything comes full circle in The Walking Dead.
Because she told him, she said, you're gonna survive. I'm sorry, because for the past few seasons, Carol's terrible with kids. It's like, hey, Miss Carol, you're gonna die. Okay.
Carol's babysitting service, whatever. No, honey, let's go somewhere else.
Yes. It's like Carol's babysitting service, and it's just like story time. Yeah. There are zombies outside. They're going to eat you and kill you. The end.
Daily phone call. Mrs. Smith, yes, I'm sorry, but your child's dead. Okay, bye-bye.
I told him it was going to happen.
It's in the contracts. In the pamphlet, it even says your child will die.
Melissa McBride, she's a great actress herself too. The lady that plays Carol, she's a really
very dynamic.
Actress. Yeah, I really like her. I hate don't feel like she's kind of gotten the
good word, right?
The stories or whatnot. But I'm glad to kind of see her back. In front of the camera. Because I just found myself with the whole her off at a cabin by herself trying to escape who she was.
That's so weird. I forgot all about that.
I really just wasn't into that. I really whatever, man. But now I'm into Carol's story. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Trying to think if there's anything else because we got to wrap this one up a little bit short because JP.
Oh no, you guys should keep it going. I can give you my star rating there because there's so much to cover in this episode for real.
Then we'll talk crap about you when you leave about your rating.
But I do have a very exciting appointment. Definitely not auditioning for a rival podcast. Nothing like that.
I didn't know you could find escorts on Craigslist anymore. I thought they stopped that.
Oh no!
Stopped to that.
No.
Oh no, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
Oh wait, I mean maybe.
Well, all right, man.
Anyway, I don't know. Maybe
I will
a number or
fellas,
something.
I will.
All right.
Bye.
It's really weird when you two do
dodge them. They're flying everywhere.
It's like, so what do we do now?
Just like did he give you his rating?
He did.
What was it? Let's go ahead and
you just go ahead and do his first, and we'll do ours at the end.
That's fine.
All right, you ready for this?
Well, how much? Yeah. Go ahead. What we got?
Okay, I almost miscounted. He gave it 4 out of 5 stars.
4 out of 5 stars. Can I see his stars? He did a pretty good job.
At first glance, I swear it looked like it was more than 5 stars there. And I was going to say,
that
JP,
is weird how that looks. Like
right.
The last 2 are touching.
Yeah, maybe that's. I was going to say, man,
JP,
you can't give it 5 out of 6 stars, JP. But so, what do you think going
out of
forward?
5 stars.
6 out of 5
that
stars
sounds like
would
a
be
JP score.
a hell of a rating.
Yep.
I'm trying to cover. There was a lot that happened in this episode.
We've covered Jadis and Negan.
Mm-hmm. We've covered. Did you kind of notice the flashback there between Rick breaking his word to earlier in the season when Daryl broke his word to Minkus from Boy Meets World?
Yeah, like the gentleman that just left said, everything comes full circle.
Mm-hmm. Rick had looked at Daryl, was like, we gave him our word. And Daryl's like, I don't care.
My word don't mean shit.
And now Rick is doing exactly what Daryl had did that shocked him.
What Daryl did. What would Daryl do?
Sadly, there are people that probably get in situations and they think that very thought. Mm-hmm. What would Daryl do? He would mumble.
Shoot something with a crossbow and mumble.
Yeah.
Not wash his hair for a month.
What are you doing? I don't know, but I'm not going to take a shower.
Way longer than a month.
But
building up.
I've got like a recap here that I was following, but it will not take me to the next page.
So we got the more. Well, it's technology. It only works
when you don't
really care.
Right.
There's also the Mercury's in retrograde and there's solar spots. That's what they're saying. So it's like that's why cell phone. You ever notice that your cell phone's been dropping calls, or you having trouble getting a signal recently?
Not with Verizon.
Oh,
this
boy.
podcast brought to you by Verizon. Just kidding.
It's not. But seriously, if you Verizon, if you want to send us some free phones,
we'll promote you.
Yep.
We're not afraid to sell our souls.
Send me one. Justin's already got his. He's got a really nice one. You got like the S9.
Yeah,
Plus.
It's fun. I like it. First phone I've had that wasn't an iPhone since 2010, I think. 2009 or 2010.
Well, thank you for switching over.
I enjoy it.
I'm glad you do.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad of a switch as I thought. Now I'm not going to say that I might not go back to iPhone, but I'm enjoying my Android time.
But you know what? That's the important thing. That's the thing. Just enjoy both of them, but enjoy Android more.
I won't trash talk the Galaxy. Now that I've gotten one, I got a friend that's diehard iPhone, basically because he's just really got nothing else going on, I guess.
I'm not gonna lie,
but
that would be the roughest thing in the zombie apocalypse is like a cell phone. I mean, it would take a little while. Probably after like a couple of weeks, you get used to it. But man, could you imagine just going back to the days
I was actually talking about that on the radio this morning about a survey said that people were. They did have less stress after they got rid of their cell phones. However, they lost those dopamine highs you get when someone likes your post. Yeah. So it's like pros and cons. But overall, they had a lot less stress. Now they can just leave stress to the zombies and the Negans out there.
That is true.
I'm trying to think. Trying to hit on it, as much as I can as we get through this episode. JP leaving just threw me off.
Well, I feel like he said. Well, what he said, we had a lot to discuss. I was like, I don't really think there was much left to discuss.
I think we've probably gotten most of it. I'm trying to make sure we get. I mean, of course, and you got to remember, we don't follow a format. We're conversating, so it's possible you might. Oh, you didn't talk about, and it's like, oh yeah,
the voice of the average listener,
right. But yeah, so
I like The Walking Dead and chocolate chip cookies.
It's kind of like Morty meets who is that? That's Morty meets somebody there.
I don't know. I'll think about it.
Oh, geez, Rick.
Yep.
But yeah, so we've talked about Rick and Morgan and killing the saviors.
You were going to say Rick and Morty for a second there. I was
I could talk about that all day.
All right, new podcast.
Give us season 4, damn it. Also, something cool to mention, a little shout out, B&D Sports Cards and Comics here in our town was kind enough to give us an issue of Here's Negan to give to you, the listener. We're going to give it away at the finale of this season, kind of a Negan-inspired prize pack. We've also got a replica of his bat and its foam. Matt found that. So when you can somewhat beat your friends with it, and only half can cuss them.
That's true.
We don't encourage nor condone
maybe even a quarter can cuss
attacking your friends, but
again, don't condone it.
Right,
it's possible.
If you want to film, oh man, remember Sanburbia Pictures that had that won the knife and gave us that awesome video. If you want to film a video of you recreating the season 7 premiere. And you beating your friends,
or do whatever. Be creative. We're just giving you some ideas to jump off.
Right? Yeah, just send us a video.
So
But it'll be a Negan. We're also looking at a few other Negan, but definitely a special thanks to Jenny over at B&D Sports Cars and Comics for hooking us up with a copy of
really
Here's
nice.
Negan.
Sweet lady.
It's such a good read. I think that you're going to really dig it.
Thinking of asking her out.
Are you?
Yeah. I don't care about the age difference.
You know what? I respect true
I
love.
think she's early or mid 60s.
Oh, I thought we were more in like the 70s.
Mid 60s. Yeah.
Her son's going to come over here and be like,
Nothing but respect. Nothing. Oh, if he listens, I would take that as a compliment if you listen to our podcast.
Right. We actually are going to have him on at some point because he's the one that has that. He has a audio of a ghost saying something, and he swears, in which anybody could create. We discussed this, you and I, that anyone could create one of these. But we know Brian. He seems like a pretty straightforward guy.
I
so
don't know.
We're going to see. Also, JP has a published author that we may sit down and talk about UFOs with. He's actually had a UFO experience. So who knows? We'll hear him out.
Exciting.
Yeah. So JP just brought that up this morning. So lots of fun things coming. But yeah, so I think we've covered all of the main. How do you think that? What do you think's going to happen with Dwight? Do you think Dwight's going to die, or do you think he'll continue on?
He's unimportant enough right now. I don't know. I guess I don't feel enough attachment to him that he won't die.
Right.
So but he has a good story in the comics.
Right.
So he might die.
Yeah, because they are departing from the comics quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
What do you think? All right, I have one more question.
We may skip. I do think we're going to skip. I think they're going to skip the whole Alpha and Beta storyline.
You think they're going to skip the Whisperers completely?
I think they're going to go straight into New World Order and maybe wrap it up soon.
You think the show's on its way out?
I think the show's is going to wrap up soon. With it, I don't think there's going to be more than 10 seasons. That's why I don't think I wanted to say something, JP. I don't think there will be a Fear the Walking Dead crossover.
Really?
If there is, I think Walking Dead will be off the air. Fear the Walking Dead will be on in order to boost ratings. I'll have certain things where, oh my God, Daryl's going to be on there or something like that. That's how I think it's going to go down.
I see that.
That's just me, though.
I'm just interested to see how the time's going to play out between the two. Because, Fear was way behind. I guess they're doing a time jump.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting. All right, so let's see your rating. Hand it over.
There you go.
2 1/4.
2 1/4 stars.
2 1/4. Why did I say 1/4?
Because it's 1/4.
I lose my brain when I'm like,
that's 2 1/4, which is a quarter. They're just different metric versus.
I used to be an electrician. I used to speak in like measurement terms.
Shocked yourself one too many times.
Now, yeah, that's probably true.
Do you want to hold on to this? You want to frame it or anything? I'm pretty proud of it. The ink still hasn't dried. Be careful. I got a little on my...
Shake it like a Polaroid picture.
They say that'll ruin that if you do that.
Shaking it?
Yep.
Really?
Polaroid. Actually, right after that song came out, Polaroid came out and said, hey, please don't shake our pictures. Enjoy the song. It's a great, catchy song. I don't think anybody will remember it in a year. They were wrong. But they did say, don't shake your pictures because you can ruin them.
No kidding. Yeah. We always learn something.
And then nobody took Polaroid pictures ever again. Everybody's like, what's a picture?
What's a Polaroid? I love that people are now, they have at New Year's, one of the girls that was there at our party had one of the, I guess, Polaroid retro cameras they just started coming out with
the tiny little Polaroids.
The little Polaroids. It's a cool little blast from the past.
Fantasies.
Yeah, because you look all faded and 80s and 90s-ish. I gave it a 4.5.
4.5 out of 5?
Yeah. I really enjoyed it, man. I think sometimes my problem with this show is I think that the character development is either not there or it's forced. You know what I mean? It's not... Some characters they develop as the show goes on, and it's very believable. And some characters just evolve when the plot calls for it. You know what I mean? It's not actual... And I feel like this time, actually, the Rick and Morgan killing the Saviors and then him reading Carl's letter, I think that actually, I see what they're trying to do with that. And this time, I actually can get down with it.
Well,
but
I need to renew my faith in this show.
2 1/4 versus 4.5. I think JP gave it 4. So we were what's our average there? Like 3.5.
Jeez, probably. I think I brought the average way down. Just like in college and high school, I brought the average of everyone else way down. Sorry, guys. It's not my fault they put letters in math.
Right? I remember being a kid and seeing that going.
I remember the day I brought it home. My parents were like, "You need some help with you?" Nope.
What does Cat Williams say when he was like, "This teacher's stupid"? You know that there's letters in there.
Was that his new stand-up special?
No, that was old. That was old. But yeah, so I guess that's going to wrap it up. I think we've got a new issue of The Walking Dead coming out tomorrow.
Oh, that's exciting.
So we'll have that, a new issue of Oblivion Song, which we're definitely going to podcast. It should be tomorrow,
yes.
I'm thinking. Maybe a Gideon Falls. So we've got a lot of comics that we want to do as well. We've gotten some pretty good feedback on that, so we'll start... adding more comics to our podcasting lineup. Also, UFO guy, a published author, which is pretty cool. And Brian from the comic book shop is going to talk about when they used to ghost hunt, and he's going to play us
those all sound like really great titles of people. Brian from the comic book shop is going to be in here telling us about ghosts.
I'm terrible with names. That's how I have to remember people.
I like it.
What was I in your phone? No, JP's. I know. I'm still Justin Podcast in his contacts.
That's funny.
It's just how I have to remember people the same way. But Since JP's left us, when we do our sign off, will you handle JP's goodbye?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Hold on. Let me grab his microphone.
All right.
Okay. Is it on? Yep. All right. We're good.
Here we go. Well, we will see you again at least next Monday. I'm Justin.
I'm Matt. And I'm JP. Oh, boy.
That was
brilliant.
Was it good? Brilliant.